The Vanishing Shadow. Unmasking the Truth. In a quiet, picturesque town nestled in the heart of the countryside, life seemed simple, peaceful, even idyllic. That was until one dark evening when the unimaginable happened. A beloved local teacher, Emily Ryder, mysteriously disappeared without a trace. No signs of struggle, no witnesses, just the eerie silence of the night that swallowed her whole. But as the community grieved and investigators scoured the town, a chilling truth began to unravel, one that no one could have predicted. And soon, it became clear. Someone among them was hiding a dark secret. The last time anyone saw Emily Ryder, she was leaving her usual Wednesday evening yoga class, a picture of serenity and joy. She was well known in town, a kind-hearted teacher loved by her students and adored by her neighbors. But that night, she never made it home. Her car was found abandoned near a forest trail, the driver's side door slightly ajar, as if she had stepped out for just a moment, only to vanish. Search parties were organized, and local law enforcement was called in. Friends, family, and strangers banded together, combing through the woods and riverside, desperately searching for any trace of her. But nothing could explain how a woman could simply disappear in the blink of an eye. Days turned into weeks, and hope began to dwindle. Until one morning, just as the town was beginning to lose faith, a jogger stumbled upon something unusual. A piece of fabric, torn and caught on a branch deep in the woods, miles from where Emily's car had been found. It was a bright red scarf, the kind Emily often wore during the colder months. This discovery breathed new life into the investigation. Forensic teams were dispatched to the area, and with the help of specialized cadaver dogs, a new search began. But the scarf, though promising, was the only clue they would find. The question on everyone's mind: how had it gotten there? And more disturbingly, who had put it there? As the search intensified, so did the suspicions. In a small town like Colston, secrets rarely stayed hidden for long, and soon whispers began to circulate. Emily's husband, Derek, was the first to fall under scrutiny. The couple had been married for 5 years, but friends revealed that their relationship had been far from perfect. Heated arguments, late-night absences, and strange behavior had marred their seemingly picture-perfect marriage. The police questioned Derek, and though his alibi seemed airtight, he had been on a business trip out of town. The town was left wondering, could a grieving husband really be involved in his wife's disappearance? Or was someone else lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike again? Then came the bombshell. Emily had been having an affair. The town's beloved schoolteacher, the very symbol of innocence, had been hiding a double life. Her lover, Thomas Blake, a local mechanic, was devastated by her disappearance, but he too came under the police's scrutiny. Thomas claimed they had been planning to run away together, but when asked why Emily never left a note or any indication of her departure, his story started to crumble. Was it love gone wrong? Or was there something darker at play between the lovers? With pressure mounting and the media frenzy growing, a new witness emerged, a woman named Jane, who lived in the outskirts of town. She claimed to have seen Emily that fateful night, but not alone. Jane described seeing a man in a dark coat standing by the car, talking to Emily before she disappeared. The description was vague, but enough to push investigators to dig deeper. Who was this mysterious man? And why had Jane waited so long to come forward? Some wondered if she was seeking attention, but others began to fear that Emily's disappearance was the work of a far more sinister force. As the investigation pressed on, the Ryder family remained eerily quiet. Emily's parents, once active in the search efforts, had grown distant, refusing interviews and keeping to themselves. Neighbors whispered that something about their behavior felt off, as though they were hiding something. Was the pressure too much for them? Or were they concealing a dark family secret that could explain Emily's disappearance? The more the town speculated, the more questions arose, and soon, even Emily's closest friends began to distance themselves from the Ryders. A breakthrough came when Emily's cell phone was discovered submerged in a nearby lake. Forensic experts managed to retrieve the data, revealing a string of cryptic messages sent just hours before she vanished. The texts were brief, disjointed and growing more desperate, as though Emily had sensed she was in danger. But who was she texting? And why didn't she call for help? The phone also revealed another chilling detail. An unknown number had called her multiple times that night. Investigators were quick to trace it, but what they found would send shockwaves through the community. The number belonged to none other than Brian Jacobs, a former student of Emily's. A troubled young man with a history of mental health issues, Brian had been obsessed with Emily for years. He had harbored a dangerous infatuation with her, leaving disturbing notes in her mailbox and following her around town. Want to know what happened in the end? Do well to like, share, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Follow CuriousCasts so you can watch the part 2 of this amazing true crime story. CuriousCasts, educating, entertaining, and enlightening.